Hey everybody, Bill Knudsen here, New York sports with an attitude. And the attitude is back where it's been for most of the Mets season, right back to sad. We had a quick 2-game winning streak, and that went by the wayside just a little while ago. Where do I begin? First inning, Nimmo leadoff double. Got us off to a really good start. This guy for Tampa Bay has been dominant all year. He's young. He's really good. So I was thinking, really good, dominant pitcher, very weak AAA Mets lineup, not clutch at all. Not a good sign. I wasn't expecting the Mets to score much, if any. And unfortunately, they made me right, even though I wanted to be wrong. But we did have chances. First inning. Like I said, Nimmo gets a leadoff double. Okay, good start. He steals third, right? Or he's attempting to steal third. He's in there ahead of the tag, doesn't even slide into the bag. He slid with his lead foot 6 inches wide of the bag and got tagged out. Even though he beat the tag, his foot never touched the bag. How do you slide into third base and never put your foot on the bag? Or your hand? How do you do that? So I've ranted about this before, about the guys, they can't slide, they can't run the bases. I mean, you're stealing third base. You know, the big square thing right in front of you in the ground. He slides with his lead foot 6 inches to the right of the bag, gets tagged out. I was 1,000% sure somebody would get a hit as soon as he made that boneheaded slide into third base that a little leaguer could do. And of course, I was right again. Cabrera got a single that should have driven in Nimmo. Of course, there was nobody on at the time, and the single got left. So, just back to the old, can't hit with runners in scoring position, even though Cabrera did, and fundamentals. Slide into the bag. What is so hard about that? Taught me how to do that when I was 5 years old. As I've said before, never played in the major leagues. Played a lot of baseball, a lot of softball. Not once did I ever slide and miss the bag. I never overslid a bag. I used to slide head first all the time, never slid off the bag. Feet first, right into the bag, every single time. No exceptions. Doesn't make me special. I just know how to slide. And cost us a run in the first inning. Bad omen. I just had a feeling it was going to be bad. All right, so the first 4 innings, we get the leadoff guy on. Like I said, Nimmo in the first and then his boneheaded slide. First 4 innings, leadoff hitter on. 2 of those innings with a leadoff double. And we do nothing with it. Because we're the worst team in baseball, especially at home, hitting with runners in scoring position, and we just continued to do that. You know, Matt's had his troubles. He gave up doubles in 4 straight innings, but he kept getting out of it. And I was saying to myself, eventually, it's going to cost us. It's going to. Our lack of hitting and Matt's continuing to get into trouble. He did pretty well today, but eventually it was going to come back to bite us in the rear end, and it did. In the 5th inning, Rosario. They're playing the infield in. 1 out, runner on third. Ground ball to Rosario. I don't know what he did with his glove. But he did not put his glove in a fielding position to field the ball. So instead of fielding it cleanly, throwing it home, to get the guy coming in third would have had him easily, he knocked it down, and because the hitter was slow, he still got it out at first base, but the run scored that shouldn't have scored. So Matt should have made it through that 5th inning unscathed, but he didn't. And then later on, in the, I think it was the 7th inning, 8th inning, Rosario makes a mental error in the outfield. He just lobs a ball in on the base hit that gave the Rays a 2-0 lead. He lobs the ball into third base, forgetting that the batter runner was still running. Of course, he should have thrown the ball to second base to keep that guy from getting into scoring position, but he's a knucklehead. Doesn't know how to play the game, so he made the physical miscue that should have been an error in my opinion, but they called it an infield hit that gave the Rays their first run, and then he's not even paying attention to what's going on. Just lollipops the ball into third base instead of paying attention to the guy that got the hit, who just kept on running to second base. We got out of that one without a run, but just same old things going on. Guys not paying attention, not hustling, not knowing how to play the game, can't slide, can't run the bases right, all of that stuff just driving me crazy. So then Matz ends up going 6 1/3, gave up 1 earned run, which again I don't think should have been earned because that should have been an error on Rosario, but whatever. He was in and out of trouble. He wasn't dominant or anything, but he pitched plenty well enough to give us a chance to win. But this kid Snell for Tampa Bay, like I said earlier, I knew he was really good, and I expected to do nothing against him. And we ended up scoring nothing. But we had plenty of opportunities. 6 of the 8 innings he pitched, we got the leadoff batter on. 3 of those 6 innings, we got the leadoff batter to second base with doubles. And we still couldn't get any runs, any hits. 6 out of 8 innings against Snell, we got the leadoff hitter on 3 times with a double, goose eggs to show for it. So I knew way before the game was over that it was over. So, what can you do? He ended up pitching 7 1/3, in and out of trouble, but he had 9 strikeouts. So every time we had these runners on, he would just strike guys out, and we couldn't do anything, or hit into a couple of double plays. Plawecki, the human double play machine, and Frazier too, they both hit into double plays. Obviously they had base runners on at the time. Hitting into double plays, never getting any clutch hits, even with all the opportunities this really good pitcher Snell gave us. We didn't take advantage of it at all. And then, Gesellman came in, got a double play to end the 7th inning. So it's still 1-0 after 7, even though it felt like we were down like 5 or 6-0 because all the opportunities we had. But Tampa Bay had some more opportunities to come through and didn't early in the game. I knew they would eventually. You cannot keep putting guys on base like that and expect to get out of it, unless you're facing the Mets. Then you can do it. So then Gesellman got the guy to hit into a double play to end the 7th. We're down 1-0 going into the 8th. Gesellman came in for the 8th, hits a batter, walks a guy, gives up the bloop hit to make it a 2-0 lead. That was the play that Rosario's brain went to sleep, and he wasn't even paying attention to guys running the bases. So we're down 2-0. I pretty much figured it was over by then, but still, it's only 2-0. And, like I said, 6 of the 8 innings against Snell, we had the leadoff batter on 3 of those times with doubles and didn't do anything. So, Swarzak comes in, we're down 2-0 in the 9th. He comes in, of course, he's got to put gas on the fire. Gave up 2 0-2 pitches for hits and a walk twice. 2 strikes on the guy. Gave up hits to both of them. And a walk. And all of a sudden it's 3-0 and the game was completely over. Because I knew they weren't going to do anything in the 9th inning. They didn't. It was the 7th time this year that we've been shut out. Tampa Bay's had the best pitching in baseball since mid-May. So we go down again. Shut out. Total lack of clutch hitting. Base runners all over the place. And then we just strike out. Strike out, strike out. That's all we were doing every time we got those runners on base. Couldn't do anything to get them in. So, what can you do? Today, last night I said, Matz better win if we want to win this series. He didn't. He pitched pretty well, but the other guy pitched better, and of course the offense, or lack thereof, was what they usually are. Because we have Chris Flexen going tomorrow. So if we don't score 10 runs tomorrow, we're going to be buried in the first 3 innings of the game, very likely, because that's what always happens when he pitches. I'll hope for some miracle and he'll go 5 or 6 and only give up a run or 2, and we can scratch out a few runs. But very likely we're going to lose our 13th consecutive series. We have not won a series since the middle of May, and we haven't won back-to-back home games since the middle of May. So unless something totally unforeseen happens tomorrow, we're going to lose our 13th straight series. But come on, Flexen. Make me eat my words. Make me be wrong. And we'll see what happens. But, very disappointing. From Nimmo's slide into third. Not even into third. 6 inches wide of third with his lead foot. I don't get it, but okay. But a total lack of clutch hitting. And Rosario with his physical error and his mental error, even though it wasn't a physical error, it should have been an error. It was easily fieldable. He should have had it. But didn't even put his glove down properly. That's why he didn't field it. That should be an error, but it wasn't. But anyway, Matt's lowered his ERA again. He's been pretty solid the last 10, 12 starts. But we go down 3-0, right back to the same old Mets. All right, Flexen, make me eat my words tomorrow. 1 o'clock Sunday. We'll try and win a series for the first time in almost 2 months. All right, that's the sad state of affairs for the Mets today. Subscribe to the show. Watch any previous shows if you haven't, or if you have watched and haven't subscribed, please do so. Get other people to do so. And in closing, have a great Sunday. Mets are on at 1 o'clock. Let's go Flexen. Let's go Mets. And thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.